Hello there and welcome, my name's Lewis and today we're going to be looking at Hack, Slash and Loot. Now, if none of you are aware, this game is made by David Williamson and he goes under the company name of Gooey Blob. Quite a nice name there. Now the company has been around about 20 years and they've been doing more game design in the last 10. And they've done previous titles like Not I or So's, and they are currently developing some more stuff in the pipeline. Now Hack, Slash and Loot is a turn-based dungeon crawler in which you get to select your character, you get to select a different type of mission. So down here you can see quests, we can do previous quests, we can do next quests, and at the minute it's set to Journey to the Kimmen. Journey to the Kimmen. And we're a woodland elf archer. Now if we click on here we can change between humans, random, woodland elf, blah blah blah. And apparently the game itself has 32 different characters that you can use. You can also pick up different types of trophies down here. It shows your previous game, so turns, kills, deaths, wins. And you get a very nice little interface down here for online help, volume, continue game, and here's your start game button. Now the menu and beginning interface which we have here is actually quite nice, as I like it. It's obviously very simplistic and aimed towards the more retro indie game style, but there's nothing wrong with that. Compared to some of the newer games that are out at the minute, it's quite nice sometimes just to jump back and go a bit old school on the game, and Hack, Slash and Loot definitely has that feel to it. It's a very minimalistic type game, which is perfectly fine with me. So let's jump in, we'll have a look at Journey to the Kimmen, and we're going to use a woodland elf because I believe elves are cool. Here we go. So Journey to the Kimmen. For centuries the Kimmen Demon Gate has lain undisturbed, but now a powerful red Oni demon ogre is threatening to open it. Once more, if his vile scheme is successful, the world as we know it may be doomed. A brave hero must journey to the Kimmen and defeat the Oni before all is lost. Jeez, such an in-depth one. Our only hope is a single adventure, or only hope is you. So, we're going in and we're gonna kill ourselves a giant demon. Nice, simple. So, the game itself is turn-based from what I can tell. This is your the actual in-game view. Like I say, as it's team-based, as it's turn-based, you will get up the top the turn instructions of what's happened and who's doing what, so you'll get to see like a log of the past moves. Now down here you get your player interface, so there isn't really any sub-menus, which is quite nice and I haven't got a problem with that. So you get to see the player type, you see your attack damage. Now with the melee attack, how it works is you have the percentage that you have to hit and the actual damage that you'll do, or the maximum amount of damage that you're going to perform. So for instance, as we're using a bow, we have 60% to hit and we have the 10 max amount ranged to attack. We also have magic damage. Now, seeing as we're an archer, we haven't actually got any magic spells, and I haven't got a sword equipped at the minute. You do get a secondary slot as well, so you can put in like a sword or a pike or some sort of offhand weapon. But at the minute, we're going to be using our longbow, which is quite nice. We also get defense and you get the health. So the game itself does also have different type of advantages when it comes to spells, and you can also take different type of damages. So when you pick up certain armors, they'll give you defense against, say, dark magic, or defense against silver weapons, and depending on where you are. The good thing with this as well is that every map that you go into is randomly generated as well, so there's never any you're never going to play the same map twice, which is quite nice. So here we have the attack rat. So we're going to attack the rat, and you can see as I move it ready cursor around, you can see where we're going to move. So obviously if I moved here, for instance, the rat will then have his turn to move. Most of the enemies in the game are short range, so they'll only attack the squares around them. You can get some long range ones, so there's some archers about as well, who will attack through long range obviously with the bows, but they have less chance of hitting. That's obviously the problem you're going to have being an archer, so you need to make sure that you've got a good bit of range so that your percentage to hit is obviously going to be less, but you'll get more of a chance because you've got more turns to actually hit the enemy. So let's kill ourselves a rat. Oh, so we missed. So you see there, our first one missed. We've got 60% to actually attack and hit the rat, and unfortunately our 60% wasn't enough. We fell into the 40% category, and with that the attack hit us and we took 1 damage, so we're down to 29. Obviously if it hits 0 then we're dead and it's game over. When you're actually holding over the enemy as well, you can see, if I bring up here, you can see that he's unarmed with 6 health, he has 1 defense, and he has 17% to hit with 6 max damage, so it's not really a big problem. The enemies do get harder as you go in, so let's see if we can get him. Come here, rat. There we go. So we got him. He leaves a nice little, a very nice little pile of blood down here, which is quite nice. And now we can move on. So let's go through here and open the door. First off, it's very minimalistic, I must say, which is quite nice. I can't see this game having a massive kind of long shelf life to it when you're actually playing it. I've played a few goes, and what's this? It gives us some. What is this? This is a scabbard. So this will give us some offhand damage, so we can add this as a sword. If you push X on the keyboard, you can actually change it around so you can open up your secondary slot, and if we pick that up, that will then put it in to our offhand, and then we can switch back to our long range, which is our main attack. I guess then if someone comes near you, they can then do a quick switch and attack with that. But the problem with that is with the other weapon, it looks like we have less percentage to hit, which is a bit of a bummer. So yeah, back to the longevity of the game. It is a good game. There's nothing wrong with the game. It's very simple and very simplistic in the way that it plays. It's very going back to old school roots of retro style turn-based games, which is quite nice, but unfortunately I can't see myself playing this a million times. Unfortunately it doesn't look like there's any type of kind of saving the character as it is. As soon as the character dies, that's pretty much it, that's game over, and then you have to carry on, which is a bit annoying because it's kind of percentage based on whether you're going to win. Obviously as you go through you'll pick up certain items, so we just picked up a Bodis, which adds it will add 1 to our magic, so we might as well pick it up just to add that 1. We're not going to be using it, but hell, we might as well. So yeah, I can't really see it's having a massive long shelf life when it comes to the actual game itself. Obviously once you die, that's kind of game over. I've done that a few times and it gets a little bit boring, but you do get to start again, and obviously as every dungeon is different, I haven't really got a problem with that. So we picked up a potion. Let's see what this does. So potion gives Archer 1 melee, potion gives Archer 2 melee damage, so that's alright I guess. That's not too bad. And let's carry on through the dungeon. Now with the game itself, obviously you can hold 2 weapons, so it's always good to have a long range and a short range weapon. Depends on the playstyle you're playing as, I guess. When it comes to using the humans, they're generally short range, so they'll have a better percentage to hit than they will for Archer, it has a lower percentage to hit. So we've got a helmet here, which is going to give us, what does it give us? It gives us 1 on our defense and -1 on magic. So we'll take that because obviously we don't need the magic, we need the armor. And this will give us a very nice attack bonus and defense bonus. So that's really good. That's a good start and definitely what we need. The levels themselves, obviously being randomly generated, they work in which you have a certain goal. There isn't like missions or tasks that you have to complete. You just get 1 goal, and once you've completed the goal, that's pretty much it. As it's a dungeon crawler as well, you will either go down ladders or you can climb up ropes to the next levels. So we've got a club here, which I'm going to leave because we don't need that. Also, when it comes to picking up weapons, you do drop the original weapon. Now, you don't actually get a inventory pack or any type of like chest to put your bits in. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not 100% on having to completely change my weapon every time. Apparently there's thousands of different weapons in the game, which is quite cool. So that will kind of keep you going for a little bit. A bit annoying when you die though, because if you spent hours trying to get yourself up to a nice stat kind of way, then it's a bit annoying if you just suddenly die. And obviously being that the game itself is turn-based, and as far as I'm aware you can't pick up and hold potions because you haven't got a backpack, you just have to kind of rely that you're going to find a potion at some point, and that will regain your health. There has been a few times where I've kind of gone through it, and unfortunately we've just run out of health and died, which I wouldn't class as a fault of my own, because you don't know what's behind the door. You go through a door and there could be a giant rat or some sort of weird ogre-y thing, and geez, if they kill you, they kill you. If you haven't got a potion, you haven't got a potion. So that's a little bit annoying. I would have liked to have seen a bit of a change in that. So we don't want to pick any of these up because they're a bit rubbish. And we've got this ogre hiding behind there, goblin even. So obviously as I attack, you can see he moves 1 square towards me. So he isn't long range, so he has to go kind of short range. And once he gets to this square here, he'll then be able to attack me. So the aim of it is that as he's got 4 health, we're going to be able to kill him before he gets to me. As an archer, obviously hasn't got as much health as the other classes. And we've got a nice potion here, so it's an elixir. So what's this going to do? So this gives me 3 health, so up to 15 health. So we're already quite low on the health. Some of the monsters that you get in here can do quite a bit of damage. So this is a bit of a problem, because we've gone into this room now, and we've got 3 enemy goblins in it. Each one has around about 12 HP. So with my attack damage of a maximum of 8, which is a bit rubbish, or 12 even, it's not too great. You can kind of see when you're actually hovering over them. If you look at my damage area, dependent on the amount of squares between us, kind of gives a random percentage on the amount of damage that you can do and the percentage to hit. So you can see if him, as he's closer to us square wise, we've got 57% and 53 on him and 55 over there. So it's a little bit annoying on that side of things, that it's kind of not really your fault if you die, as there's no indication of what room holds what, and that can be quite annoying. So we've got 1 health. So this kind of goes exactly as I was saying. Think of it this way: if you had been playing this for 2 hours and done really well, I haven't actually played this for 2 hours yet, so good on you. But if you've got that far, and you've got some really good armor that's taken you a long time to find, you've made your way through a lot of the dungeons, and you for some reason don't pick up a potion for half an hour, you're going to die. And luckily we made that one through. Our percentages kind of worked out. We don't really need a shield for the sole reason that we're not going to be defending any type of attacks with a shield, and that does actually put down our long range damage. We got a hood, which kind of doesn't really help us at all, lowers our defense. And I'm just exactly the same, so that's quite a rubbish pick, to be completely honest. We do get altars as well, which do random things, so let's have a look. So this one gives 1 magic damage to archers, so nothing really for us. So you can kind of see what I was on about, that there isn't much for us to actually pick up and use, and it's not really our fault, so that could get a bit annoying, I think. Also, the lack of in-game volume or in-game music. You might have realised by now that I've been ranting on for the last, like, 10 minutes, and there's been no in-game music, which is a bit annoying. And all this kind of fog of war background here can it gets a bit annoying as well. So I think they could have put a bit more work into the actual game design on the layout of when you're actually playing the game. I like the map down here though. You can see all the rooms that you've been in, you can kind of quickly access them. So for instance, if I click down here, it'll move my character all that way and take up all those turns. Just bear in mind, if you've got an enemy behind you, he'll have the same amount of turns, so you can't just leg it, unfortunately. Let's have a look in here and see what goodies we've got. So we've got our weapons. Oh, we've got a goblin, so let's see if we can get him before he gets to us. Cheeky goblin. There we go. We've got this one down here. I really like the enemy design on this though. The enemy design is quite fun. They kind of look quite cute. I've never really seen an ogre that looks so cute, if that is a good word to use. Oh geez, we've got some we've got a bit of in-game music, Jesus. And we've got a bow to go with it. Perfect. I think the music kind of kicks in when you're about to die, pretty much. And I think the game knows that with 1 health and 4 goblins after me, or a springling, whatever what the hell that is, we're pretty much screwed. And these are long range goblins as well, so they've got 25% to hit compared to my 59. They also have lower HP, and I can see myself dying any second now. Oh, we got him. Let's go for this one. Oh, jeez. One more hit, one more hit. Oh, we made it. Oh, except for this dude down here. And the music stopped. And we... Oh! Damn you! Damn you to hell, you weird little green goblin-y thing. Damn you. So that's pretty annoying. I don't like how you can just randomly die like that. It gives no sense of achievement to the game that you're actually working towards an overall goal, because you know that you can just suddenly die at any given point. It doesn't really work for me, to be completely honest. Let's go back to the main menu and have a look at a different character. So let's have a look at the... Let's have a look at this one. Let's have a human. I think this is more of the warrior type. So we're going to do the same one. Here we go. So we've already got a goblin next to us. With the levels, obviously they're randomly generated, and a quite nice thing with the levels actually, which I've read up on, is that depending on the quest that you take, it will randomly generate different types of levels, so scenery wise, and the enemies that go with them. So for instance, if you're hunting down a demon, you're going to be fighting demons, and those demons will have certain magical traits which you have to then decide upon with the weapons and armor that you pick up, what's going to work best for you, because they have certain defenses against certain types of in-game effects, so obviously magic damage, all those bits and bobs. So we got him in one. Luckily the sword will do more damage because it's close range, we have a higher percentage to hit, but we then have to obviously bear in mind that they get close to us, so there's less chance of us hitting them before they get to us, and there's more chance of them hitting us because they're right on top of us. So it's a little bit different, but quite nice. So you see here, compared to the archer, we have to move forward, and this gives him a chance to move. I can just skip a go and stay still, but obviously he knows that if I step there, he's going to be able to hit me. It's a little bit annoying, like that. So automatically we're surrounded by goblins, and this is kind of a effect with the random generation of the level. I'm not too sure if I agree with that. It kind of takes the fun out of it, but then again, that's the idea of the game, and a lot of the old dungeon crawlers were exactly the same in that way. So we're down to 39 HP. And we're getting very quickly surrounded by goblins. And we've only just started the game, so obviously there's no kind of difficulty to the levels. It literally comes down to a roll of the dice, which in a way can make it a little bit more interesting. If you want to have a quick play, which is that's what I guess this game's probably be more of a rather quick play. And we died again. Jeez. So it's going to be more of a quick play type game. You're going to pick it up, have a go, and let's try a different level, and then put it down. I can't really see yourself sitting there for 3 hours and playing it. Geez, you'll end up throwing your monitor out the window. So let's give a go at the Dwell Beneath. Okay, so up until now the denizens beneath the mountain have left the surface folk be, but now something has caused them to come forth and raid the surface. 5 dragon brothers have made their home within the mountain and forcing the inhabitant to raid the surface and swell their horde. A great hero is needed to enter the twisting caves and put a stop to their evil reign. Legend tells of great riches and great danger beneath the mountain which you will find. If you ask me, that's kind of the same as the last level, isn't it? There doesn't seem to be much in the way of diversity between the stories, except that you go into a dungeon, you find yourself an evil thing, and you kill it. Which is a little bit annoying, if you ask me. I would like to see... I understand that the game itself is made so that it's an omni kind of way of playing the game, so each level has the same overall achievement of killing one certain boss, but what's the point of having different levels except to just change the scenery and the different types of enemies that you're facing? Except for that, it's pretty cool. I like attacking stuff with magic. I've decided that that looks awesome, and I'll be doing more of that. I don't think we've picked one up yet, but you can also pick up scrolls, and they pretty much are identical to potions in the way that they add certain types of traits. And we've got a belt here, which is going to give us a bit more defense. Obviously, as you go through, you're going to pick up better items. That's if you do even make it that far. Obviously, remembering you can die at any point. Okay. So another thing to note on this game is there is no leveling to it. And what does this do? 42, 50. Okay, we'll have that. So there is no leveling to the game, which basically means you count primarily just on the gear that you're using. And we've got the horrible music again. So yes, there's no leveling. You have to go primarily with the gear that you're using to be able to make your way through the different dungeons, and as the enemies get harder, then obviously you have to make sure that you have the gear to go with that. Once again, is another thing which isn't your fault. For instance, if you've been playing the game and you're working your way through the dungeon, obviously as it's randomly generated, the boxes are randomly generated, and if you don't find the boxes that have the gear in it, you're not going to get the gear to fight the higher up level monsters. So it's a bit kind of one-sided on how you play the game. Overall, I like the feel of the game, I like the simplicity behind it, and believe me, it is a very simple game. It's literally click to shoot. There is no key bindings that are needed to be used, except for X to be able to use between your first and secondary weapon. On the other hand, you've got the problem that the game is a bit like rolling a dice. There's no real way of controlling how the game is going to be played except for picking up the items, but bear in mind, picking up the items, you've got to find them first, which is pot luck because every level is randomly generated. But then on the other hand, once again, randomly generating a different world every time it will mean that you're never going to play the same world twice. And Jesus Christ, will these monsters ever stop coming? There's millions of them. I'm just slowly getting worn down here, and we've only just started this level. Jesus, how many monsters are there? I feel like I'm being swamped by kobold handlers. They have some good names. Jeez, is that it? Oh, we've got another 2. You've got to give the guy who made this, though, his dues. He has made this by himself. He's just a kind of a hobby designer for creating these games. To get it onto the Steam market is pretty cool, though. I think at the minute it's $2.99 on special offer, generally $4.99. Now the money on that is a little bit steep, I would say. $4.99 for this game. There are much better indie games out there for $4.99. We've got 5 health. We're going to die in a minute. All I've done is attack stuff. Look at all the loot everywhere. I just want to pick it up. But yeah, $4.99 for a game like this is a little bit steep, I would say. My personal opinion is there are games out there for $4.99 which are far better than this, and will have which have a better shelf life when it comes to actually playing the game and getting your hours worth out of it. This style of gaming I enjoy when I have nothing better to do. I found myself playing this last night before I went to bed for the reason that I wanted to waste 10 minutes, and this is a good time waster. I think after the video is made for this, I'll probably play it a bit more, and I might come back to it another day, but it's definitely something that I'm not going to keep playing. This is going to drive me around the bend eventually, completely having to restart my character every time and not being able to carry on from where I was or save. It'd be nice to have a saving menu in it. So that is pretty much it. That is Hack Slash and Loot. So, what do you think of the game? Let me know. I quite like the game. I like the idea that it's randomly generated every time, and that obviously will depend on what mission you pick, will depend on the scenery and the monsters that you get. I like the HUD display, so when it comes to picking up your weapons, selecting your weapons, looking at your stats, it's very simple, it's very nice, very minimalistic. There isn't too much involved there, which is great because in a game like this you don't want too much going on. You're literally just clicking and off you go. The downside of this, though, which I must point out, is that unfortunately it's not a game that's going to last very long, for the sole reason that there isn't much in it. You do the same thing every time. Every map seems to have exactly the same layout to it and the way that it works, and it has exactly the same overall boss that you need to find and kill and blah 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 and find something, and you've won the game pretty much. And that's if you can even get that far after dying about 50,000 times to try and get there, which is a little bit annoying. And in my view, they should have made some sort of save system to carry on while you're playing the game, so you can at least carry on from there. And say you've got halfway through, with the problem that I was saying that you're not going to be able to maybe pick up a potion for half an hour while playing it. If you saved half an hour before, then you can pick an alternative route and it will save the map that you're in, so it won't randomly generate another map. That gives you a chance then to at least try a different type of approach to it, and you might win instead of having to start all over again with a level that you're unfamiliar with and just end up dying like I have the last couple of times. So that's a bit of a downer on the game, and it would have been nice to see a change in that. But evidently the game itself is made by one man, and he does it as a pastime, so you can't really rate him on that. It's something he does in just out of joy of making games, and I'm all up for that. I like people that are there just to enjoy the game. Possibly bring the price down on the game a little bit though. If you do it in your pastime and it's something that you enjoy doing, then I wouldn't charge $4.99 out of offer price on Steam for this game. Maybe more. Keep it at $2.99. Possibly bring it down to $1.99, and yeah, it'd be all right with that. That'd be quite nice. So that is it. That was Hack, Slash and Loot. Obviously, if you don't agree with anything I've said, then please let me know by dropping me a description. If you don't want to drop a description, then feel free to email the channel. My name is Lewis, and I'll see you soon for some more Let's Play.